Greetings all, El Grinnell here with True Speak, bringing you the All Things Happy and Healthy vlog again this week. Thanks for being here. Today is kind of part two of last week's kind of idea about negativity and no, which, some people might think runs totally contrary to the Get Happier and Healthier Now vlog. However, what it does is it allows us to see things from a different perspective, and it allows our mind to become more expansive, which is great for our neuroplasticity, especially as we age, right? So we really focused on, the one of the pillars of white supremacy, which is perfectionism, and kind of busting that up. And that leads into another technique for doing that, because perfectionism is just a very dangerous concept and way to be living our lives, in my experience and in my opinion. Okay, anyhow, so today is all about how to bring a devil's advocate into your life to improve the quality of your business and or your career. A long time ago, I was exposed to a thing where you could create an imaginary boardroom. And in that imaginary boardroom, you could get a lot of intel and insight to things that you need support or assistance with. And it's all in your imagination. And it was really cool. But what I didn't learn then that I know now is it's important to have a naysayer on your board. You want a devil's advocate. That person is crucial to your success, because a naysayer's superpower is expansion of possibilities in your mind, your thoughts, and your actions. Okay, so this was challenging for me because I'm an optimist by nature. I'm going to use an old phrase here. I'm Pollyanna. If when Pharrell Williams had the song "Happy," I listened to that song a million times. I wished I could have been in the video. And the good side to that is when you have positive expectations and positive vibrations and positive thoughts, you draw more of that into your life. I still stand by that 100%. And it's valuable to also know that not everything always goes well all the time. And when you don't have a plan B or alternate ideas or thoughts or opportunities, when you don't get what you want, it can be crushing and difficult to recover from. And so that's where a devil's advocate or a naysayer in your life becomes super important. So please be mindful of the fact that you don't want a negative person in your life, or at your board, which I'll get to in just a sec. You want somebody who is able to just not be your cheerleader, right? So I surround myself with family and friends who just love and appreciate me, and they think everything I do is amazing, and I love that. And then when things go wrong, they go really wrong because I didn't have a plan of action, or that's how it used to be. Okay, so you need that one person who can step outside, who's not a yes person, who's not afraid to tell you that you may be wrong, that may not be a good choice, and things like that. So they allow you to dig really deep because they don't just say that, there's a reason behind it. Okay, so it's tough for me, and that's why I shared my story with you last week about how I failed terribly with Get Happier and Healthier Now in getting that promoted out to save lives. And part of me still feels a little like, oh gosh, because that didn't happen, how many lives were not saved? And so I had to get over that and know that I just wasn't prepared for the no and wasn't able to pivot and shift. Okay, so here we go. When you have, actually today, let's do two things. First of all, let me say, ever since that huge disaster, I don't even know what word to give it, of not being able to save lives with Get Happier and Healthier Now, I started giving away the ebook, The Positive Purpose of Negative Emotions. Okay, so email me info@truespeak.us if you'd like a copy. It's an ebook. It's really short and extremely valuable. Okay, so back to the boardroom. There's two different ways to do this. One of the ways is to, and they're both creative and they both use your mind. They both really dig deep into that creative side, which is so far from perfectionism. You just let it go and have fun. Okay, so first way, you have your table, your round table, and there's you, and then as many people as you'd like at the table. So my creative boardroom consists of myself. I have Nikola Tesla, I have Joan of Arc, I have Abraham, and then now I have my devil's advocate, who also happens to be my youngest and also my best person on my team right now. And so when you're creating your board, you're going to go around and ask these people their advice. What would they do? Any question you would like, and you'll get different thoughts and opinions and actions from each of these personality types. Okay, so yeah, I never met Tesla. I never met Joan of Arc. And that's why this next step is crucial. When you're creating your table, make sure you have researched these people and you are in alignment with their integrity and their authenticity and what they brought to the table during their time on this planet, right? So when I learned a lot about Nikola Tesla, wow, learning about that man's story could possibly knock people off your board table. There were some pretty nasty people in his life who took advantage of him, and it's heartbreaking. There's a really short version of it. I think I got it on Amazon, but anyhow, I digress. So make sure that you know, like people are like, well, I would put Oprah on my table and I would put, whoever else on your table, whatever athlete you like. And it's important to have done the research to really know about how they got to where they were, what are their how do they invest their time? How did they get to where they were? What do they continue to do today if they're still alive? Okay, so you get the idea. I think 5 is good because then you can't get a deal breaker like 2 and 2. And so you go around and ask each person at the table what their opinions about this. Okay, so I'm belaboring the point. Okay, so you got that. Now, this is the one that I love, and this is my work, and this is what I would love to share with you. Another way is to create a boardroom that has you, and you're at the head of the table in this case, your ego, your conscious self, and then you have your heart, and you have your head, and you have your gut. Okay, and so it doesn't matter how the table looks, but you're the head because you're the one asking the questions. And so you're going to say, for example, I've decided to sell my business. Now you've already thought this through upside down, inside out, and backwards. You have your pros and your cons, or however you like to process things. Then you get into a nice meditative state, which I can help you do. And then you ask your head, and then there's a process for how do you feel and what are you thinking, and you take those notes, and then you ask your heart, and then you ask your gut. And by the time you're done with that triad of amazing input, it will be very clear to you your next step. Very clear. And you can do it with confidence, grace, and ease, which leads back to being happy and healthy. It minimizes stress. Okay, so you want to be proactive because so many careers are now non-existent, right? So like newspapers, anything print, a lot of that is just those supportive career positions don't exist. Travel agents, I don't know off the top of my head, like even customer service, sadly, I like talking to a human, but that's going to bots and AI. AI is shifting everything. So pretty soon, teachers, writers, so many things are about to. And so when you have a devil's advocate, somebody that can remind you that these things are coming or just around the corner, you can be prepared. You don't have to buy into the negativeness necessarily. However, it's valuable to know that it's possible. And if it happens, what would be your plan of action? Or what steps can you take to ride the wave, which is even better as you go? Okay, so that brings me to the end. My call to action is, as always, please hop on my calendar. Let's spend time together. I'd love to share this boardroom concept with you and give you the tools to be able to figure this out and live a happier, healthier life with less stress. Okay, so you know how to reach me. Please like, subscribe, and follow and share. So until next week, stay happy and healthy, my friends. Aloha.